Hello, West Ham Network. It's Holly, and today we are going to be asking the age-old question: is the striker West Ham's biggest priority when it comes to signings? While the intro runs, head down to the comments, give a little thumbs up to those you agree with, get involved in that conversation, do a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribed. Let's go. Yes, West Ham Network. It's been a little while since we spoke about transfers. It's been a little while since we spoke about needing another striker. But unfortunately, this absolutely horrific stat was brought to my attention. At the London Stadium, Erling Haaland has scored 6 goals in 3 games. And on the flip side, at London Stadium, our own home ground, West Ham's most recent 5 striker signings have scored just 6 goals in 49 games. And that is what I like to call absolutely insane. Those strikers, of course, are Wilson, Füllkrug, Evan Ferguson, Scamacca, and Ings. Make sure you subscribe and also hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already, because it goes a long way to supporting the channel. And now we'll go back to a little bit of the video. So I actually did a video last season that was talking about how much money we had effectively wasted by bringing in signings in the striker category that just we have not utilised in whatever that way has been over the years. We have had strikers that have needed service to score goals, but we couldn't offer them that service. We've had strikers that we brought in and just didn't fit our system, strikers that couldn't find the target, others that were injury plagued and barely ever managed to get any time on the pitch to even get match fitness up, and then others that simply didn't really play. A head coach didn't rate them. So when you look at this stat and you break it down for what it is, I'm just going to put it out one more time to traumatize us all, it shows that despite trying to find that clinical striker that we can put up top and rely on to grab us a few goals, we really haven't in the last however many years at this point. And we've seen so many times in the way that we tried to replace Antonio and then revert back to him when things haven't worked out, that it's clear our striker signings have not been the ones that have been right for us. But we can't do that anymore. And it is certainly time that we have to fix that issue. There is no Antonio to revert back to. And yeah, we've got a position that we need to sort long-term, not just short-term. I think the length of time that this stat runs over is really the biggest, most stark reminder of how much we've relied on those around the striker to actually save us in games. Obviously, the likes of Antonio did get a few goals, but currently, players like Bowen have been playing a huge part in keeping us afloat. And despite having the likes of Scamacca and co as our striker, we have managed to have seasons where we haven't been relegation contenders. And when you look at that stat that says how fewer goals our newest signings have given us, and that's 5 strikers, our 5 most recent strikers. It's not 1 or 2 that haven't hit the ground running. That's 5 signings that have been ineffective. Regardless of what else is going on, a good striker should be able to stand the test of time, fit under new head coaches. It does make you question as well what we could have achieved should we have had a clinical striker that could have made a difference in previous seasons where we have actually performed okay. And now we find ourselves in a position where we desperately need to find goals. I've still got a sneaky suspicion that Callum Wilson is going to be able to help get us out of a little bit of trouble if we can keep him fit. He is a proper no-nonsense player. And I don't know if anyone watched I believe it was an Ironcast interview of him, but he put so much work into reading the game, understanding the opposition. Like, he seriously does his homework and takes it upon himself to work out what he can do to make us win. And he basically identifies weaknesses from the sideline. So when he comes on, he's ready to exploit any gaps that they've got. So I have to say, when I watched that interview with him, it made me a lot more excited about having him on our side, because I'd like to think that this experience and this way of approaching a game and researching the opposition might also go some way to encouraging others to take this so seriously that you can gain the upper hand by going into a game, not only following tactics that you've been told to follow, but understanding which side is a player's weak side, which side can you run around to have the best chance of getting the ball. I think all these things are going to make a difference. So let me know your thoughts on how you think Wilson's going to perform this season. Like I said, my hope is that he can bring us a fair few goals despite needing to manage his game time and keep him fit. But going back to that horrible stat, the interesting thing is we don't actually face City until just before Christmas, I believe. So we don't need to worry about Haaland's goal scoring at London Stadium for a little while yet. However, this is a huge sign that we need to focus on strikers in January, because Callum Wilson is more of a short-term fix. And we haven't yet found that striker that we can rely on, that we go, that is our striker, that is our player. We've had it with wingers, we've had it with right backs, left backs, centre backs, goalkeepers, where you at least assume that unless we can make a major improvement, that that's the person that will be there next season. But the turnaround of goalkeepers has made us lose an incredible amount of money. And that's what my video last season was on, was how much we'd brought them in for. And then because we either hadn't utilised them, or they hadn't hit the ground running, or they just hadn't done well in general, we've sold them for a loss every single time. So not only are we not having a striker that can make a difference in that time, we're screwing ourselves over in terms of financial fair play, because it means that there's less money to invest elsewhere, because you're essentially making losses each time you're bringing a striker in and then selling them for a loss. And that means that it hits us all around the park, because you've got to be sensible with the players that you bring in. I think one of the big challenges that we've had at West Ham with strikers is that typical clinical striker needs service. And we have been in a continuous cycle of just not being able to provide good enough service. No one's been good enough. And that's something that we obviously need to address. But it looks as though we could be on the verge of starting to play in a way where we're bringing more players in, a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more energy in that midfield so we can link up play better. All these things we've been needing to see. And if we can do that, then the final missing puzzle piece is a striker. So I think January could be a good one to focus on that. But again, there may well be other priorities that rock up by then that we start to look at. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Should a striker, as it is right now, should a striker be our number one priority next transfer window as things currently stand? Our next game after the international break is against Brentford, who've scored 9 goals, which is 3 more than us, and they've conceded 12, which is 4 less than us. So despite us being very poor in the stats department at the moment, hopefully Nuno can get us performing and make a statement against a team that we really should be hoping to beat. And I actually feel like this international break has come at the perfect time. We need a little break, don't we, in order to just get things in order under Nuno, and hopefully draw a little bit of a line under Potter's time at the club so that things can go back to feeling a little bit more hopeful, because I've been missing that. And you never know, we could get one of those win things against Brentford. So that's all from me for now, but tune in later today where I'm going to be running through your Hammers headlines for today. If you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up button and leave us a comment below. Your thoughts on West Ham, your thoughts on the international break, your thoughts on Nuno, your thoughts on everything that we've spoken about in this video, because it goes a really long way to growing that engagement and helping the West Ham Network channel grow, which means in turn, we can create more content for you guys and more content variety. So please do that and make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. I've been Holly, and until next time, make sure you subscribe and come on, you Irons. Irons.